Welcome to the THOR Table of Knowledge podcast, where we dive deep into the groundbreaking world of trauma care, hemostasis, and oxygenation research. A special thank you to our sponsor, Velico, for their support. Velico is revolutionizing trauma care with their innovative frontline ODP spray-dried plasma system, with the goal of empowering blood centers worldwide to produce dried plasma for transfusions.
Good afternoon. I'm Andre Kapp, and today I have here with me Richard Meehan, CEO of Velico Medical, actually the sponsor of this podcast series for THOR. Richard, it's my great pleasure to have you come and tell us a bit about Velico and where you see the future of Velico headed. Tell me a little bit about your motivation and how you got involved with the company and where you want to see it go.
Thanks, Andre. It's great to sit up and talk. I think I'm the only industry person to talk to the THOR Table of Knowledge podcast, and that's great. And it's also great to help support what a great organization THOR is, the mission of THOR, and I can't wait to see and hear how all the podcasts come out. You know, Velico's mission is to significantly reduce deaths from preventable bleeding. We call ourselves the future of blood. It's a little bit bold, but it's what we mean. We're going to deliver specific, measurable, and real life changing transfusion medicine innovation in a way that hasn't happened in this industry for more than 30 years. So we're on a mission. The mission is to reduce the preventable deaths, but actually it's a calling. It's a calling that I have to lead this business, and my team is to deliver dry plasma everywhere. Right.
Perfect.
Right.
Yeah, that's absolutely what we need. So the future of blood, plasma is one piece of that. What's the plan for Velico after delivering on the promise of dried plasma? And first of all, before we get to the future beyond plasma, when we say we're going to deliver dried plasma, what is the intent here? Where is this going to go? What's the target patient population?
Well, we have developed a system that enables any organization, whether you're a military, you're a civilian blood center, a hospital system, or you're a government, to take charge of your own plasma supply system. We're the only company in the world that can do that. We don't supply a product, we supply an ecosystem for you to take control. That's the first thing. And that's why there's a lot of interest, because in this current 2024 environment, sovereign self-sustainability, independence, and resilience of your supply chains is what is en vogue in global conversations.
For sure.
So we will deliver that to the market as soon as we are approved. We're going through our regulatory process. Our system is designed and built. The machines are rolling off production lines, and countries around the world are very interested in bringing the Velico ODP system into their supply chain.
Fantastic. And so this product will be a broadly accessible product that can be delivered in the pre-hospital setting even, right?
Yeah, it's designed for pre-hospital. We don't see in the first market adoption phase big hospital systems changing over from their current whole blood system or plasma to our dry plasma. Where we're good and where we're going to save lives is at the point of injury. You're going to have flexible, durable, malleable, small unit of dry plasma on every ambulance, in every medic's backpack, available to transfuse and rehydrate in about 2.5 minutes. So you know a lot about the golden hour. 2.5 minutes from the moment you open the package till you get plasma into that patient.
That's pretty fast. That's fantastic. So this dried plasma product will come in a plastic bag for infusion, so it gets rid of all the glass bottle problems that have plagued implementation of dried plasma in the pre-hospital setting, and deliver this life-saving product really for what THOR is all about, remote damage control resuscitation. They're putting the remote into the DCR, right?
We're injecting remote.
We're injecting remote, even better, transfusing it.
Yeah.
Perfect. And so then, Velico is building these systems. They're going to allow this autonomy, this distributed manufacturing model supply chain control to all the different countries or other stakeholders. People will produce the product, get it out there to free hospital providers to save lives to militaries. And that's sort of phase one of the plan. Then there's the future, right? So in the initial future step, a little bit more on the manufacturing side, why don't we talk a little bit about the possibility of having a mobile production system?
Right. So before I answer that piece directly, every time I come to a conference or a meeting like this, I sit back and I listen to a commonality of cause and a commonality of problem. Speaker after speaker will call out the issue. All the heads in the room nod. And I think people sit back and they wonder towards the end of a conference, I'm hearing all of these challenges and problems, and my colleagues are agreeing with me. Why is somebody not doing something about this? Why is industry, why is a group of 5 or 6 people from this brain trust, the best and the brightest brains in the business are in those rooms? Why are they not forming a company and bringing a senator? Right. All right. Well, the answer is it's not easy. It takes a lot of components. It takes vision, team, cash, and a lot of brain power. We know that journey in Velico because it took us 12 years from conception to product finalization or almost finalization to get there. Right. The next piece of mobile production you talked about is just a reinvention of our technology in a different application. Okay, so we make spray dryers that will dry plasma. Well, do you want to install them into hospital buildings or blood center buildings, or do you want to have them in an ultra mobile and resilient ISO box that can fit on the back of an airplane, go far forward if need be, or sit in a parking lot of an already built establishment? Most people say yes to that. Most people want that. So the VeliPod is an innovation on the existing technology, which will accompany our market launch next year, hopefully.
Fantastic. Yeah, I can really see that, we're recording this in Miami right now on the eve of massive hurricanes about to hit Florida. And we just had one demolish a major pharmaceutical manufacturing facility in North Carolina. And so having a single point of failure for your dried plasma manufacturing would be, something to avoid if possible. So, and then we see, unfortunately, in Ukraine, Russian targeting of healthcare facilities, including blood centers. So for countries really looking for that resiliency, this idea of the VeliPod offers really tremendous options, right?
Decentralized production, no single point of failure, a movable location that could sit under the ground if needs be, 7 feet under the ground, away from attacks, drones, and in a modality that is modular and expandable, not a huge cost to set up for any country or institution or organization. It's low cost and it's modular. So that's in a supply chain resiliency space. It's what the market is looking for.
Well, those certainly sound like tremendous innovations for the future of flood. Now, tell me a little bit about how the this development program took place. You said it's over 12 years, right? And Velico's received funding for this from the U.S. government, as I understand.
Correct.
So, tell us a little bit about that program.
Business building stories are always very interesting to me because that's my forte. The Velico story is unique, I think, in how it has developed from that first moment to where we sit now in 2024, heading towards having an approved product and coming to the market to solve one of the biggest problems in transfusion medicine. It was scientists that came up with the solution initially. It was a bunch of Velico scientists that thought about a decentralized spray dryer that could, work with plasma. We presented that to federal government in the United States through BARDA, who have been an excellent supporter and partner and funder. And over 12 years, we have successively moved through the milestones we set out with our funding partner to bring that technology to the line. We have had a group of patient shareholders along the way. If you think about it, 12 years of R&D without a commercial sale,
Right.
that's called patient capital, right? That is the definition of patient capital.
Right.
how it has worked is because our team are world class, right across the board, from people who work on our science, our engineers, hardware, software, regulators, our back of house support functions, um, and iterations of management that have been there over the 12 years. That's how we've managed to get through that journey so far.
So BARDA is a component of the Department of Health and Human Services under the Administration for Strategic Preparedness and Response. Um, BARDA's mission really is to prepare the United States for calamities like nuclear war or terrorist attacks and that sort of thing. And so there's a big investment in radiation and nuclear countermeasures, including trauma-related things like blood. Now, BARDA has an interest in getting this technology adopted because the whole point is to build that resilience within the United States. And they've sponsored a program that builds off of what Velico is doing, the Blood Center Education Program. Maybe a few words on what that is and what that's
It was a very, very smart support that BARDA gave to Velico to found what we call BCEP, Blood Center Education Program. So what is that? It's an outreach and education program from Velico, the spray-dried plasma innovators, to the civilian blood center industry. We're working with all of the large and regional blood center organizations in the United States, whereby 7 of them will receive a Velico spray-dried plasma system installed in the coming months. Their staff will be familiarized with the technology. They will be trained. They will draft up SOPs about how to integrate dry plasma into a blood center production facility. And at such point where we come to market, hopefully those production systems will become live production systems as opposed to research collaborations. And all of a sudden you have this United States-wide, nationwide resilient spider framework of dry plasma decentralized production.
fantastic. That will, I think, really go a long way towards improving U.S. national security on that level. So potentially that product could be produced all across the country for any emergencies that are coming up. How about our international collaborators? Can you talk a little bit about where Velico is going internationally, say within NATO or other countries?
Well, interest is at an all-time high. Let's just say that, and for good reasons and bad. The geopolitical instability right now is at decades-long high. So we have partners internationally who are, let's just call them early adopters, very, very significant nations that back our concept and are testing our technology. So we have a partner in the UK with a combination of the military and the civilian blood system. There are 4 or 5 other countries in Europe, probably before the end of the year, that will have a system. All of the talk right now is to have a medical countermeasure to some large military activity, be it in in the Asia Pac area or in Europe, and that's what keeps the phone hopping from those agencies. We've built on top of our U.S. headquarters in Beverly, Massachusetts. We've built an Irish European international headquarters. It also has some R&D functionality around the Velipod, for example. We're going to have a global supply chain for our technology and our inventory. So United States and Europe are the first 2 continents to get that. And we're scaling our business. We're about 40 people right now. That is a doubling of headcount in the last 4 years. All things being equal, will probably be 2 or 3 times that within 24 months.
Wow, fantastic. Well, it sounds like Velico's got a really great plan for solving some of these really thorny problems in transfusion medicine. It'll be exciting to see these developments come to fruition. I think our listenership is super excited to hear about this as well, because putting plasma, but particularly, I'm imagining that with this distributed manufacturing, the cost of the plasma will not be excessive to EMS systems, and we'll actually be able to, be fielded. Like some programs are just too pricey in that
Or
regard.
no, like we're going to be half the price of the next nearest competitor.
Uh-huh.
So, and that's on one side of the cost side. And on the other side, less than most drugs that make a massive intervention in life-saving pre-hospital, interventions. So the market is very happy with the proposed cost of a unit of dry plasma from our system. Not only that, there's another part of this equation which is enabling blood centers who have not had a lot of technology innovation in the last number of decades. They're going to get innovative technology to generate their own new revenue lines and do something else with plasma other than freezing it. From a market perspective, I view what's going to happen with the mass availability of dry plasma, a little bit like what happened between the BlackBerry phone and the iPhone. So the BlackBerry came first and it served a purpose at a higher cost to a limited market size. The business community, had a big keyboard, but it didn't have a touch screen and it didn't have smart applications. It didn't have a music player and it didn't have a camera, right? As soon as the iPhone arrived, that market became its true size because everybody realized the potential for using the device, the application that they always wanted.
Right.
My own vision, my own view is that will happen over the coming years with the mass availability of affordable and efficacious plasma through our technology.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for listening today. Richard, thank you for joining me. Cheers, skull, as we say in Norwegian. And we look forward to hosting the next episode of the THOR Table of Knowledge. Cheers, cheers.
That's a wrap for this episode of the THOR Table of Knowledge podcast. A big thank you to our sponsor, Velico, for supporting the advancement of trauma care. Their frontline ODP spray-dried plasma system is paving the way for blood centers globally to produce potentially life-saving plasma for transfusions. Check out our website, www.thornetwork.com, for more podcasts, and join us next time as we continue to explore the cutting-edge science of trauma, hemostasis, and oxygenation. Until then, stay safe and stay informed.